Hello, welcome to another episode of CR Wrestling Commentary, and I'm your host, Sedrik Kennedy, and I will be reviewing the matches for WrestleMania. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm going in cold because I'm not a WWE guy. I'm just I got my issues with them, but this is gonna be me sort of giving them a chance for me. And so the first match, and I'm going to do this match by match because I do not feel like having to just do my notes and then go over what I try to remember. I'm going to do it when the match is over. So it's the United States Championship match, and it's the United States champion Austin Theory going against his alleged idol and whatnot, John Cena. And you know, I was like, okay, all right, you know, we'll see how this goes. It's been ages since I've seen John Cena. Last time I saw Cena in anything, I guess storyline related or no, wasn't storyline related. It was, just crowd related. It was having the, WWE's ownership of ECW, and John Cena was going to do a match there. The fans were booing him out the building. He threw his shirt out at him, you know, like, hey, I'm the good guy. Here's my shirt. And they threw it back, and the crowd just cheered when it hit him in the chest or the face or whatnot. And, yeah, that's what I remember. That's some years ago. And I was getting tired of John Cena because I felt like they had no other, viable candidates for the WWE championship. And so I was just like, I'm tired of seeing John Cena. I watched him, you know, start on SmackDown and do the whole Kurt Angle thing, and then, you know, ultimately break away from Kurt Angle to his own, and then the Triple H feud and all that other stuff. I you know, more or less saw that stuff. So outside of movies, I hadn't seen anything of John Cena, and I was like, he's got to be getting up there in age, but I'm pretty sure he keeps himself in shape. And so Austin Theory, he comes out first. I'm like, why is the champion coming out first? I understand star power and all like that, but the champion should always come out second. The challenger comes out first. But then again, I'm a traditionalist in that area. You know, the one who is the challenger comes out first. It doesn't have to be for a title. If someone's challenging somebody and it's Baba Ganoush versus Baba Ganoush, then whoever's the better Baba Ganoush comes out second. But, okay, it's the whole Make-A-Wish thing. They make a thing about it. And personally for me, I'm not happy seeing the Make-A-Wish kids there because it saddens me because I don't like seeing, you know, kids shouldn't go through anything terminal or bad, really. You know, they aren't like adults. They haven't willfully screwed up or try to claim ignorance on something that they know about. They're just kids, you know, so it saddens me because I'm one of the rare people that's very in touch with his mortality. And I don't like seeing someone that young go through anything like that. I felt that way when I was a kid, when I learned what Make-A-Wish was anyway. So, okay, Cena comes out, and he looks like the super epic, baby face, which is his best role anyway, instead of a heel. So he's like, you know, hey, say hi to mommy, and he's giving them high fives and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm enjoying it. I admit it was making me, you know, I'm not in the very best of moods, having to sit in this new low cut chair, which annoys me. Feels like it cuts off the circulation of my thighs. But, so in any case, he starts running to the ring, and I'll be honest with you, John Cena jogging down that ramp to the ring, it brightened up my moment. You know, just simple thing. WWE never slacks on pageantry. All right. Never slacks on pageantry. Now I know John Cena's moveset. I know what he could do. I know that he can wrestle, and I know that he can pro wrestle. All right. Better pro wrestling than the wrestling. Okay. Austin Theory, I've heard about him, but never seen him, never cared. But I get to see him today. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I went through right before they got started and the bell rang, I went through my whole, okay, who's most likely to win this? And I went through my thing and I'm like, okay, John Cena, he's held this belt twice before that I can remember. And I know that John Cena, has a great ton of experience in his corner, but he's doing movies or just chilling. And if he wanted to be in the WWE and wrestle all the time, he would have been there like 2 years ago doing it. You know, he would still be there active every week to 2 weeks. So, okay. So Theory, he's there all the time. Young guy, you know, he's got a belt. Okay. So I'm like, John Cena should win because of star power, legacy, all this other stuff. But he ain't trying to stay in the WWE like that. So pretty much like The Rock, he ain't gonna try to win this belt. They had a good match. It was all good. I enjoyed it. Austin Theory, I like the little tumble moves, but they was also kind of not necessary either. So I was kind of half and half on that. At the same time, you know, Cena just showed, if you watch the match, you watch Cena's face, he has been here so long and done the dance long enough that he simplistically was just overly relaxed. You know, he didn't have the quote unquote facials that he would have before. He wouldn't have those facial expressions as he would before I remember when he was coming up and you could see the look in his eyes like, okay, I hope I get this right. I've got to remember this. I got to do this. You could see it. Now he's in there looking at this dude like, you know, good job, kid. That's the expression on his face. Good job, kid. I saw that on Flair's face when he was wrestling Sting. I saw the same look in Dusty Rhodes' face when I was watching him on WWF Superstars on Saturday morning. I saw the same look in Ted DiBiase's face. Not his father, but not Junior, but the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I saw in his eyes when he would wrestle people. So I'm used to that expression. But, you know, the tumbling aside, they had a nice, classic, old school wrestling match. It was a mid-card level title defense match. And it was good. Cena got his stuff in. He did what he's supposed to do. Austin Theory, he got a few tumbles in, but he catered to the crowd in terms of being a heel. He did that great. I thought he was doing a little too much at points, but I get it. You know, I get it. You know, that's great crowd participation, and a wrestler needs that. So Austin Theory, he's got the body. He's got great control over his body. He has great ring awareness. I liked seeing that. He knew where he was in the ring at all times. John Cena was calling this match. He led Theory through this match, which makes sense. You know, normally the heels are the one to do it, but the one with the most experience need to do it, not unless they're trying to see what that heel knows, what their quote their partner, opponent, or whatnot knows. And so you could tell Cena was calling this match, and at points, Cena had to realize the camera's in my face. I got to cover my face while I'm talking to him. When he had him in the STFU, he had a Theory in that, which was, you know, and John, I like the way he put that on now. Before, you could see it was hurried when I was watching him last so many years ago. Now when he put that leg in deep and he just sat down in it. I just don't like the cross-arm version that he does because it doesn't look like he's really doing any choking or anything. I've never liked that part of the move, but I always liked how he, you know, hooked the leg in. He would, have grapevine the leg and scissor it. I enjoyed that part, the step over toe hold part. So, seeing that, it was all good. And he had to cover up that he was talking to Theory, trying to get the next parts of the match going, yada, yada, yada. The camera's in my face. Let me lower my head. So he did that. And then they got to the next part. And, you know, John, you know, yeah, he was foiled on, I can't remember what he calls it, but it's just, it's a fireman's carry into a slam. That's it. That's really all it is. And, you know, John was just smooth. He made no mistakes. Theory made zero mistakes. There was no mistakes. I mean, they did this just right. This was a good match and I enjoyed it. Cena, got him up, and oh yeah, that's right, he calls it the FU, and I think they made him change the name. I can't remember, but there was some controversy over that or something. I don't know. Either way, he got him on that Theory holding onto the ropes. Very classic move. I was like, once I saw him grab the ropes, I was like, ref needs to come over there. He needs to get close enough so that the feet can hit him, preferably high, but they hit him low, more like sternum or whatnot. And it was a light tap from the angle I was looking at. But hey, how it looks to you is not exactly how it would feel. Think about anytime you fallen and might have bumped your head, but no one saw it because it was that quick. So you get this done. Ref falls out. Cena's like, get the finishing hold, get the STFU, the STF, the step over toe hold and face lock, and Theory taps. Cena's like, yes, I won. And he looks at the ref. Oh crap. And he looks like, you know what? I got to keep it going. So he got to press it, pick him up, low blow, and then Fireman's carrying to a face buster on the knee, and Theory pins him, 1, 2, 3, retains, like I thought he would. But I'm impressed with Theory in the ring. I like seeing him. It's refreshing to see good wrestling other than the NWA. I haven't watched TNA and others in a while, but it's good to see there was some good wrestling. So, okay, opening match is supposed to hook you. I'm hooked. I want to know what the rest of the matches are. I'll make my reviews a little bit shorter than this on the matches, but I thought this was good. And, yeah, so we're going to see how the other matches are. Okay, so the next match is a fatal 4-way tag team match. And like I said, coming in cold, but when I realized it was a fatal 4-way, I'm like, I didn't want to pay any attention to it, but I did watch all of it. So, I guess, it's attractive. Okay. I guess something, maybe it's the bright lights, the normal HD that they have, because SmackDown HD is unrealistic HD. And I'm like, no one sees that clear. Any case, it's Braun Strowman and Ricochet. They teamed up, and I'm looking. I'm like, wow, Braun Strowman looked like Ricochet. If Ricochet, was like, this is how I want to look in 3 years if I work at it really hard. He just, eats some red mushrooms and he levels up and get bigger and look like that. Like Super Mario. In any case, then the Viking Raiders. Eric and Ivan, I think that's what I don't know. I miss them in New Japan. I miss how they used to wrestle. Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable. Okay. And then, there's Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. So, okay. And I'm like, okay, Street Profits come out. They've got the biggest pop. So most likely they're going to win, unless there's some kind of angle to be put with this. But they came out, the crowd was like live for them. I was like, okay, all right. So the match is silly spots and stuff, and the fans are freaking out like they've never seen this stuff before. If you watch indie wrestling or AEW, you've seen these things before. However, Braun Strowman, a little contrived, but I did like the Broman Express, I don't know, the Strowman Express, just running around, shoulder blocking people, and somebody, one of the Street Profits just rising football tackled him like he was in scrimmage practice, just laid Strowman out. Got a pop from everybody on that. The, multi-tier suplex with the crossbody from Ricochet. Ricochet later on hitting a running swan dive, shooting star press to the outside. Almost landed crotch on knees from that height. If he had hit, oh man, he'd be in the hospital. But then he gets back in the ring. He's like, man, I'm going to do another shooting star. And I was like, you shouldn't go to the well too often. There might not be any water in it. And yeah, he hit that dry dirt at the bottom because he landed on knees, Street Profit knees. Dude held him, and then his partner did the frog splash off the top rope. Dude rolled him over. 1, 2, 3. Street Profits won, just like I thought they would. And look, I don't know these people, but I shouldn't be able to predict, 2 matches in a row like this. Just saying. I'm not saying that what they're doing is bad. No, they're doing good. It was a 4-way match, 4-way tag team match, and it was a good standard match. It wasn't stupid. It wasn't silly. It wasn't none of that. But, it was just, there were 4 teams out there having the time of their life. If they were, the thing to me is how they hide their smiles, because they had a ball, okay? Like, it was stress relief, just have some fun, do our thing, going home. That's what it seemed like. But I thought, I enjoyed it. Not really care to remember or look back at fondly, I guess. Well, this time will tell if I just somehow be like, that was pretty cool. I don't know. But it was stuff that I didn't care to see in that match. And all in all, I got to see four WWE teams and, get a glimpse of what they can do. But since you know how the WWE feel about tag team, yeah, so you'll never see how great they could be. That's pretty much the sad truth about it, But we're going to get on to this next thing. All right, so the next was Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. And, going in this cold and whatnot, I didn't see the build-up, which wasn't much of a build-up. But I get it. There's drama, and you'd have to watch probably, a month or 2 of Raw, I guess. That's where they are. You have to watch that to see the true build-up instead of the flashy clips. But okay. A lot happened in this match. I guess it'd be best if I took notes, but I'm gonna say this. Seth Rollins, I'm impressed. But I see through certain things. There's a lot of inspiration. The top tier Joshi pageantry going with the red train. He had his, Jeff Jarrett WWE version / Shawn Michaels, neck and whatnot, that thing on the top he was wearing. I don't know what to call it, but, I was like, oh man, that was Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Okay, cool. And, and I also remember Shawn Michaels wearing a little bit of that. If you want to see somebody really ripping off Shawn Michaels, watch the Guns on AEW. They're like, look, we're Shawn Michaels down. But, look, Logan Paul comes in the zip line. I got to say, Logan Paul's gear is awesome. I thought that the first time I saw him, I think it was last WrestleMania or the one before that, when he was teaming up with The Miz. I was like, he look cool, alright. Personally, I have no respect or liking for someone like Logan Paul. I don't like people that have zero sympathy or empathy and just, frat boy laughs at the worst things possible, and then after saying you learn, you keep doing the same stuff. I don't know. Personally, I don't like them. That's why I try not to know wrestlers or learn anything about wrestlers beyond the mat, because then I'll end up like, I don't want to see this person. And even if that person's a babyface, I want to see him to lose and or be hurt or injured, but not killed, but definitely damaged. But neither here nor there. These two got in the ring, and I'm gonna say this, they're wrestlers. They know what they're doing. Couldn't see through anything. By and large, the wrestling, they start off with the fight. I like Logan Paul's Russian leg sweep into the ground octopus. I like that. I like the fact that the commentators made reference to Inoki doing the stand-up version, and there are rare occasions of him doing the grounded version. So I like that. I like that they made reference to that. How can I say this? They wrestled a damn good match. I enjoyed this. I was pulled into it. It was a fight. they was on the ground still locked up and smacking each other, back elbowing each other, giving the elbow butts and the smacks to the face. I liked that. It was a fight. That was some rustic stuff right there. I like it. They did their things and they started going into their spots. Logan Paul, he's a mixture of ground and high flying. Nothing wrong with that. Good. And he picked spots well to try them. So that's all good. Highly athletic is Logan. I like the single jump into the moonsault. I thought that was awesome. It sucked that he missed. I'd like to see him hit that. I think moves like that, don't waste your time. Hit the move, yada, yada. I think that. They did the rolling pin spots and stuff, and I don't like those too much because you can see where they roll them up and then they get them into the seated Rana version of it, and then they gotta push them forward. So it's not a kick out. They push them out of it. It doesn't show actual competition. It just shows we're doing a thing. So I don't like that too much. Seth Rollins is just like marquee move, osmosis. He did Jay Lethal's 3 tope suicidas, so he did those. Well, not tope, but just suicidas. He did those. He got that in there. I like the stomp to the hand to the outside, that he got on, Logan Paul to damage the hand they was knocking him out with. And I was like, how's he knocking him out with it? And they're talking about the titanium screw in his hand. I'm like, look, it ain't like the screw is on the outside of the hand. Number 2, the screw is beneath the epidermis, the dermis. It's like in the bone, or depending upon how they have to do it, might be replacing the bone. But if it was like that, I don't think he'd be in the ring. So, you got all your nerve endings and whatnot that's around it. So that's not gonna help. It really, I got a titanium rod in my leg. I got, a rod and 4 screws. It ain't like if I put a knee to somebody, it's going to hurt them more. Nope. It's, and I remember when I got him, and not a friend, but an acquaintance, we was spar outside and stuff. And he was like, don't kick me with that leg. It'll hurt so much. And I'm like, this guy is stupid. That was just my thought. And I just left it. I didn't say it. I just thought this guy is stupid. I just left it at that. I realized someone I need to stay away from because he's a freaking idiot. But this match here, I did like it up to a point. Athletic are they? Yes, but man, when the KSI, that's dude's name. The guy in the mascot suit. Yeah, they got Rollins on the outside, yada yada, and I'm like, okay, Logan is up there, and this dude is posing like, look at me, getting a selfie, watch it, okay, and he's just going on, and I'm like, why ain't, I was like, dude can't jump with you in the way, idiot. So that was looking stupid. You're stopping your friend from going on the offensive, to win the match that you helped him survive by pulling him out the ring before the curb stomp. So, now you blocking his chance of victory. So, he's standing there for a while, and then Seth Rollins grabs him, pulls him onto the table, and then Logan Paul jumps. I was like, you put him on the table, it's stupid, and then he jumps. That's what I thought. You put him on the table, it's stupid, and then he jumps. So, yeah, Rollins got him back in the ring, pedigree, kick out. They go through some stuff. And then, Rollins is in the corner, and then, thanks, Rob Van Dam, the originator that I can remember of going coast to coast in an 18 by 18 ring, might I add, 18 feet by 18 feet, with a, just saying, Shane McMahon, he was like, let me do this. And okay, now you see Logan Paul, he's going to do it, but Seth Rollins gets up, Shawn Michaels kick, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, he wins. Logan is sitting there looking all sourpuss and stuff, which made me feel good. And that was the end of the match. And I enjoyed Logan Paul being defeated. I really did. you wouldn't be able to tell on my face or anything. When he lost, I was like, okay, cool. And I'll go back to making matches for my show tomorrow. Well, in the morning anyway. It's 6:52 a.m. And let's see, we're in the second hour of this. No, middle of the second hour of this. So, yep, keep it on going. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little flubbing here. So I'm just gonna get this out. So the women's match was a 6-woman tag team match, and it's Becky Lynch, Lita, Trish Stratus against Damage Control. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, I don't know who Damage Control is. I don't watch WWE, but I'll be honest with you, I watched the match, yes, but I don't want to comment too much on it because it'd be just almost picking on Lita and Trish. What I could see in this was a difference in styles. Trish and Lita, even back in the day, it was like herky-jerky looking in the ring with them. When they all had to be together in this match, all 6 women had to be around each other and doing their moves and setting up these stunts. You could see Lita and Trish they won't really, they looked extremely tarnished. They weren't polished at all. And I felt really bad for them. When it boiled down to the modern stars versus the legends, once Trish and Lita was out of the ring and it was just up to the other 4 girls, you could see a difference in pace, tightness of moves. It looked either stiff, real, or, at least a fight. And I was like, wow, there's a massive difference. I don't care too much about fast pace, but keep the pace, make it clean. Trish and Lita just weren't doing that, and I felt really bad for them. The match ultimately concludes with Becky Lynch getting the Sambo Slam off the middle rope and getting the win, which is good, because I felt that team was going to win anyway. One, they got tag titles, Lita and the man, Becky Lynch. Just like in Living Single, if you ever seen that show ages ago, you ain't got to be the man. You ain't got to be a man to be the man. So, and I understand it's the whole Ric Flair thing, yada, yada. But okay, cool. Big time Becky Lynch. And Becky's good. She's good. Painfully thin, but she's good. She's got a good woman's voice. That means there's, when she speaks, there's a commandment in her tone, and I like that. You don't want some dainty voice trying to sound mean. It just don't work. Watch NWA and see Pretty Empowered. They're just mean girls shrieking. That's pretty much it. So, although they're damn good as a team, still, they start talking, you'd be like, your voices are so high pitched and shrieking, So, Becky Lynch, good voice, like it, draws your ears right to whatever she's going to say, doing it in the ring a lot. So, I like that. And I knew who was going to win, because it'd be silly to not, especially when they got the extreme pageanted intro. So, yeah. You could just see a clear difference in the way that they worked in that ring. A clear difference. And Lita still working the Jeff Hardy gimmick thing. I'm like, y'all really doing that? Okay. Not gonna stop that. All right. It's just the whole history with Lita, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Edge and all that, and still doing this. You don't know what's a shoot, what's real, and I don't even care. It's just for me, the optics of it, it looks bad. You know, it just looks bad. But it is what it is. I thought it was cute how the girls were mocking each other. It was messing with Lita, messing with Trish. I thought it was adorable and dastardly at the same time. I like that. But the win went with the right way. Looked good. Happy, joy. And everyone moves on. Alright, so we get to the next match, which is father versus son. Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio Jr. And, you know, look, they wrestled a little herky-jerky, but this, you know, Rey Mysterio built his career on being a counter wrestler, not necessarily offensive. Offensive at the end, or maybe an end, but usually the match is evasion, a little stun, duck and dodge, yada yada. That's him. I've seen Dominic Mysterio, I think 2 matches, and I was like, okay, you know, he needs tiny pieces of work, but he's good. I like what I see. And so I figured this whole rival thing is father versus son. So they recap the whole thing. And I'm like, man, if anybody does what Dominic does, then they are an absolute idiot. They don't need to vote. They don't need to drive. They don't need to drink. Everything they do, they need to be padded hands, duct tape mouth, and a sign that says, thoughts are meaningless to me. Because the whole thing is Dominic, you know, the bug in his ear, Judgment Day as they're called, get in his ear. He eventually turns on his dad, and it builds on, hit me. No, I'm not going to hit you. And then one day, after yelling at his mom, Ray hits him, and then the son is like, you gotta be a terrible father to hit your son. It's like, that's so stupid. You know, that's why trolls are stupid. Cause you bait, and when you get it, then you use it against them. It's meaningless. It gains nothing. Nothing. It would have been better if Dominic was just a jerk and without the baiting, and then Ray just, you know what? I'm gonna clock you. You know? Something like that. But, you know, Dominic had to keep upping it up. Okay, we got there. We get to WrestleMania. They do their thing. They're wrestling. It's all good. It's supposed to be some kind of animosity, but they're not really showing it because Ray's leading this match. And then Dominic goes out the ring and starts jawjacking his mom and sister. I'm like, they're going to do this. Okay. They ain't going to jawjack anybody else because they're not in on it. So jawjacks the mom and daughter. Ray comes in after the drink is thrown into daughter's face, and Dominic uses that to knock his dad down. And then later he goes out and his dad uses it to push him into the post. They ultimately get the tiger feint kicks on each other. They do that. The triple rolling suplexes, or as English, the 3 friends, or, you know, tres amigos, Spanish. So they do that, you know, that's for, it was really slow and sloppy looking. And then Judgment Day, you know, they eventually get out there and they're interrupting and all this. I'm like, okay. I'm like, now it's solidified. Dominic is going to lose the match. At first, I was like, you go either way. Then they come out, I'm like, okay, he's really going to lose. Because, I'll get to that in a second. So then after that, I don't know who these other people are. They run in after a little bit, and then the match goes to this conclusion. Ray gets a tiger feint kick that he named after his area code. And then he gets the frog splash. Best that he can do. This is more Art Bar style. And then he gets the 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, all right, finally, you know, Ray wins. because Dominic has to lose, because when the Judgment Day decides to cut some weight, they're gonna get rid of him, and they have to use "you lost to your father at WrestleMania." They got to use a few other upsets. So when, they got to use it as ammo for that. Plus Dominic has to lose because of how, I guess, the message would be sent to families watching if the jackwad's son actually defeats the dad. So yeah, I get it. So, that Ray's gonna win. And besides, let's just go on being an absolute mark right here with this one right here. Okay? And I mean it as in you just watch wrestling and you don't know anything about the insides or how to pick who most likely is going to win the match. Rey Mysterio defeated Batista. At the time, big dude, the animal. And so Rey beat him. Rey held his own against The Undertaker. Rey, has gone against some of the biggest people here. So Dominic really shouldn't be too much. And that's pretty much it. So it's time to get on with the next match. Alright, so the next match is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, the challenger, and the champion is Charlotte Flair. And I don't make no mistake about it. I love some Charlotte Flair. I just, I'm like, well, if Ric Flair was a woman, how would that go? And here it is. Rhea Ripley, amazing build, on her. Great look. I've seen her a few times. And I've seen both of them work in about 4 matches each. So when I saw this was going to be for WrestleMania, I'm like, they might tear the house down. But I have to wait. Gotta wait. So when I see that this match is going on and they make their entrances, Rhea Ripley, awesome entrance. I like the stomp and the pyro. That was really cool. Crowd popped for that. Crowd was just popping all over the place for Charlotte's intro. I didn't take notes down. There are certain things that are just burned into my brain. But this match was look, I wish the men would work like this this is the standard, in terms of a heated match. Rollins and Paul worked like this to an extent. They just stopped at the last full quarter of it. They just sports entertainment out. Just, hey, here's my buddy. Let me jump on him. This match here was a fight. This was a pro wrestling match that you could have had at any given era. If this match was done in the 50s to 70s, then, they would be like, don't come back here. You're going to kill my promotion because we can't do that. This match, they fought. They punched. They forearmed. Ripley, I like how she was doing the push to the ropes and then those stiff forearms in the back, and I thought that was good. Charlotte's like, shit. I was like, oh, that had to sting a little bit. I like that. When Charlotte was like, I done had enough. And she started chopping her. I said, oh my God, her father trained her on them chops. These weren't chops I normally see from Charlotte. These were the chops that Flair was giving Ricky Steamboat and Sting. And in one match, he was giving it to Luger. One of their 2 matches. Well, 2 that I saw anyway. I was enjoying it and the crowd was enjoying it, but they're gonna do that anyway. That's a good thing though. And she was chopping to the point Ripley just had to cover up. Ripley got a German suplex on Charlotte. It was stiff. Charlotte did that suplex. I mean, she was the one that, you got to have a powerfully keen eye to see that Charlotte was in charge of this match. Because she called it. Charlotte called this match. But that first German suplex, Charlotte hit, and it was just, it sounded like a piece of metal hitting something wrapped in Scotch tape. It was just brutal. And, obviously a 2 count. And then later, Ripley hits a German suplex, a super over-rotated German suplex off the top rope, well, the middle rope. Avalanche will be at the top, for those that want to know. Avalanche's top, super is middle. And it was over-rotated. Charlotte, I saw what happened. Charlotte basically just did a moonsault. Problem is, Ripley didn't completely let go, but Charlotte, they commentators, she landed on her face, and they do the slow-mo where Charlotte doesn't land on her face. She landed on her face. I'm like, you're replaying it. We done missed an eighth of the match because of these dumbass replays. You can't see the match because they're showing replays. I'm like, we just saw it. Can we just have a memory? And then Charlotte gets a German suplex, and Ripley gets, Ripley tried Riptide. Charlotte reversed that into a hellacious, sick looking DDT. It looked like Ripley should have broke her fool neck. Ripley kicked out. She gets a German suplex on Charlotte, where Charlotte legit this time lands on her face. And Charlotte's, I think she, either a tooth was not loose, or she got a fat lip, or it's one of those things where it's strange, but the damage to the mouth, but it affects your gum. You have there's no swelling, there's no abrasion, there's no bruise, there's no discoloring, but the damage is to the gum, not your lip, and it's weird, but that seems like what must have happened to Charlotte. At some juncture, not sure which, Charlotte gets the diving moonsault to the outside on Ripley. Ripley evaded the figure 4 or the figure 8 or whichever they want to, the bridging figure 4. I would call it a Charlotte special. She was evading it the whole match. And then when it was put on her, she scooted to the ropes. Charlotte was looking like, what do I gotta do? I love the fact that these women, on their faces, the story was told on their faces. You could see it. It was beautiful. Just the doubt, the anger, the frustration, the confusion, the determination, everything throughout this whole match. They got a second win and started elbowing each other and just whooping up on each other. I loved it. I was into this match. I'm sitting back, just watching. I'm looking, some people look to see, hey man, can I see through this move? No, I wasn't trying to see through anything from the jump. I'm like, look, I got to see this because this is awesome. And they are whooping each other up. Ripley got what she calls Riptide, the pump handles, one shoulder power bomb, and Charlotte kicked out. Ripley looked like, what in the world? She looked frightened, like she just saw the ghost that, of death. She was, woo! So then, eventually, they're doing some more battling. And up on that top rope, that's when she brings Charlotte's head down on the post. It looked like a knockout. If you want to know something, they probably took that from the half botch of Omega and Naito. Probably took it from that. And Omega was like, I thought you was going to have a gush. He's like, nah, man, that was cool. Things I wish I didn't remember. So, Charlotte was laid out. Both of them has exhausted almost everything that they got. I was really hoping to see the Sky Twister press from Charlotte. Just to see her do it. Cause I saw the replay and I was like, she does that? I was like, oh yeah. But I hadn't seen her do it before. Yeah, well, it's been done. So, yeah, I'm sure Top of the Outside would be really happy about that. But so, then, she gets to the top, Ripley does, and she does the super riptide, bam, and Charlotte like she was unconscious. Beautiful job, because she didn't have any fight back. She didn't even try. And she gets power bombed off the second rope, that super riptide, 1, 2, 3. The crowd is popping. And the thing is, Ripley won. She's the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Two things I want to go over. This match, although Charlotte is supposed to be the babyface, Ripley's supposed to be the super heel. The crowd is cheering for Ripley and booing Charlotte. And Flair is looking around. If you watch this, Flair is looking kind of like, damn, I'm supposed to be the good guy. You can see, like, okay. And so, after that, Ripley's happy. She won. And I'm like, okay, so, you're the babyface. You won this belt. And then they hit me. It hit me, I think, I think it was after she avoided the figure 4. No, it won't. It was before that. It was after Charlotte hit the moonsault to the outside. I was like, Ripley chose this belt instead of the Raw belt. She's not after the belt. She's after something more important than the belt. She's after Charlotte. She didn't want to win the belt. She wanted to beat Charlotte. That should have been the story, because that's what I saw in the ring. It should have been that. Like, the belt is beautiful, but defeating you would be lovely. That's where it should have been. The belt is a byproduct of total victory. But that's how I see it. This match, to me, this match might have stole the show. This is just Saturday's show I'm working on here. So we're going to get on to the next match. All right. So I guess, Snoop Dogg and The Miz aren't going to be friends anymore after, Snoop's like, you know what? You got a match? All right. I can sign this match after y'all done, Pat McAfee done came down. And then, Michael Cole. Okay, McAfee's music played. He's coming down and Cole just blurts out that, here's Pat McAfee. He is like marking out so fakely. And then he's like, and he's going to come down and they're going to fight. And I'm like, wow. Okay. The best thing he could have said would have been, here's Pat McAfee and he's coming down to challenge. That would have been a lot better than just blurting out that, yeah, this is going to happen. So, the people down there in the arena, luckily they couldn't hear it, so they at least had the mystery. Yeah. McAfee does the same thing he did last year or the year before last, and probably any year. He gets his I'm on the top rope backflip off, do some things. And then, look, since this is a short McAfee one with a punt kick, which last I saw of that this is how long it's been since I've actually gave a crap to watch, WWE. The punt was a thing that Randy Orton was doing to, injure people. That was the gimmick that was going then. But I forgot to mention earlier with the Rey Mysterio match that in the opening of the match, when he pulled his bit out and started whooping his son, that should have been a disqualification. That was an illegal object. That should have been a DQ. I was thinking about that. For this match, since it was in the ring and all that, and it was official. Snoop Dogg gave his blessings for it. Dude standing outside the ring, ref turn around, dude laid out. The Miz is laid out, football player just standing there. I'm like, put 2 and 2 together, but he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That would take thought. So there's certain parts where there's certain things about wrestling where things have to go a certain way. It forces fans to be like, I'm not going to waste my time with this, and this is WrestleMania. I said this last time I was reviewing WrestleMania. What the hell is up with all the ads during the pay-per-view? This pay-per-view is full of ads. It wouldn't be 4 hours if you just no ads and got to the damn match. Just get to the match. I ain't saying don't have any kind of pageantry or, vignettes to clue people in and to recap and see where this got started and all that. Yeah. But advertisements, no. We're watching WWE. You don't have to advertise WWE on WWE. We know it. We know. It's stupid to advertise your show on your show to remind the people to watch the very thing that they're watching. It's stupid. It's just dumb. I mean, it's like Domino's never having an ad, but when you go into the store, they advertise everything in front of you to go to the place where you already are. Any case, going to the next thing. Yeah, Pat McAfee won, pinfall, Miz unhappy, yeah. Okay, so we get to the final match of things, and something told me to take notes. And when I take notes, I usually just do the most important things, the things that stand out as it goes. So there's a lot of pausing and typing, or I can type certain things, but I'm so low now, I don't have a bird's eye view of the keyboard, so it's just hard to type. So a lot more pausing than I wanted to do, but I did this, and so I'm gonna give you the blow by blow. Basically, it's kind of how it goes. So this is for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. So for those belts, it's Jimmy and Jey Uso defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Okay. And wow. So promo video got me a good bit. It looks so real. I like how they went through a little bit of the storyline that's been going on for a year? I think a year. So it's a year build up. I'm going to say it right now. I wish these 4 people knew how to pro wrestle. I wish they knew how. But it's modern day, and I'm going to do this. And I had to write down some things I didn't want to write because, but here goes. For those that's going to still stick with me after all of this time, it's almost an hour. So, in the beginning, Usos cut the ring off for a while, and Sammy had to make a hot tag, which was all right. Owens, he came in, diving cannonball onto the Usos from the top rope, then did an apron frog splash, and then a diving frog splash for a 2 count. Usos take back control, but Owens is fighting back in the corner. Kevin Owens with a swanton onto double knees that hurt him. Not an injury or anything, but he takes that, and then he took a frog splash for a 2 count. So then a little fighting happens. Sammy lands the brain buster on the apron, and then Kevin Owens, he lands a swanton for a 2 count. Sammy with a super fly splash for a 2 count. That happens a little bit. This is not far in between. It's like 20 to 40 seconds. They're taking massive damage and they just pop up and keep going. Sammy takes many super kicks and the camera switches just as the Usos slap their leg. Every time, super kick, but the slap is a camera switch. It was annoying. Sammy takes double super kicks to the back of the head and kicks out on 2. Makes the super kicks look like above average kicks. So that's what I call them because they aren't super anymore. There's nothing special about them. And when it comes to AEW, I call them foot jabs. When I make moves for Fire Pro and somebody wants me to do a super kick into something, I call it a foot jab. That's what it is. It's a foot jab. So Sammy takes 2 more above average kicks and kicks out on 2. They set Sammy up for something, but Owens pulls one of the Usos out of the ring while Sammy lands a sunset flip for a very questionable 2 count. We're wrapping it up, coming towards the end. Owens he fights Jimmy on the outside, but on the tables, but then they're turned and he takes a double sambo slam through the announcer's table. You know WWE, that's the big spot. Announcer's table and barricades. No barricades this one, so this is probably going to happen on the next one, I suppose. I don't even know if I'm going to cover that one. I just might watch it and chill. And just who won, who lost, I might do it that way. Sammy's alone, but he's dazed. Sammy takes an aided ace crusher they call 1D, which is for one and done, but he kicks out on 2. Okay? So it's not 1D. Team 3D, Dudley Boys. Call it an aided ace crusher. Call it 3D. Show a little respect. But, hey, I get it. Lawsuits, yada, yada, and universe, right? Okay. Jay talks to Sammy, asking why he won't quit while slapping him around. Sammy is hardly audible. Sammy is out on his feet. He is not feeling good. Jay uses a running kick, which is Palamo kick. I just call it a running kick or boot kick. Cause I don't know if it's saying Palombo. I don't know. It could be Chuck Palumbo. I don't know. So he uses that and talks trash, but then he takes an exploder into the corner. Sammy tags Owens, who uses a pop-up powerbomb on both the Usos, obviously one at a time. Sammy hits a running boot and Owens hit a stunner for a 2 count. Both teams pick themselves up slowly for a face-off, then they start fighting feverishly for a moment. Sammy is knocked from the ring and Owens lands an above-average kick to the Usos, like pop one, pop the other. Owens attempts to move, but a perfect blind tag is made. Owens takes above-average kicks and then a double kick. Sammy is knocked from the apron via the same above-average double kicks. The Usos deliver double superfly splashes on Owens for a 2 count. No save. He just kicks out. After some time and seeming slightly, and it would seem like slightly audible talking in the corner, because one of the Usos was picking up Owens, and there was just weird talking. And I don't know. But Owens takes a double above average kick from the Usos. Then Owens is set up on the top turnbuckle. Sammy pulls Jimmy from the ring. He just pulls him from the ring. They start fighting. Jay Uso takes a super corkscrew fisherman buster. Okay. That's brutal. Sammy calls for the tag and he gets it. Sammy has been beaten pillar to post, but hey, he wants to be tagged in. So Jay Uso takes 2 running kicks in the corner from Sammy, who seems a little tired, but he's getting his wind back and just, no damage. His jaw should be shattered by now. His orbital bone should be just messed up. So, Jimmy takes a stunner from Owens. So he's out. Sammy delivers 3 of his running kicks and he pins, new champions for the first time ever in WWE history. They kept saying over and over again. So they're happy. There's tears on people's faces. Not joking. People are happy. They've lost their mind. And Sammy and Owens are just, they get the pyro, they get the joy, and the show ends like that. So before I hit that 1 hour mark, been CR Wrestling Commentary on WrestleMania Saturday. Thank you for listening.